Everybody wants freedom, but not everybody knows how to get it. We dream about waking up without an alarm, having money hit the bank account, even when we're on vacation and living life on our own terms. That's what passive income is all about. It's not about being lazy, and it's not about get rich quick schemes. It's about being smart enough to build systems that pay you long after the work is done. Now, I didn't just stumble into making 67 Zallos in a week. That didn't happen by chance. It happened because I learned the power of creating income streams that didn't require me to trade time for money every single day. And the truth is, anybody who's willing to think differently and put in the work up front can do the same. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 passive income ideas that can change your life. These aren't theories. 8, these aren't gimmicks. These are practical strategies that real people, just like you, are using to build wealth and freedom. If you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of working harder but never getting ahead, this is your wake-up call. Because once you understand passive income, you stop surviving and you start thriving. When most people hear the words passive income, they imagine sitting on a beach, sipping a drink, while money magically appears in their bank account. But here's the truth, nothing is truly passive at the start. You've got to put in the work first. The key, however, is building something one time that continues to pay you over and over again. That's the magic of digital assets. They don't sleep, they don't call in sick, and they don't need vacations. They just keep working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Think about it. When you write an ebook, record a course, or set up an automated store, you're investing time and energy upfront to create something that can be sold 1,000 times without any extra effort. Compare that to a traditional job. At a job, you get paid once for every hour you work. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. But with digital assets, the equation flips. You do the work once and then you keep collecting payment long after you've moved on to the next thing. Here's an example. Imagine you create an online course teaching people how to use Photoshop. You put in maybe 50 hours building that course, recording videos, writing guides. The 48 and setting up the platform. Once it's done, it's done. You don't need to re-record it every time someone buys it. That same course can be sold to 10 people, 100 people, or 10,000 people. Your income is no longer capped by the number of hours you work. That's leverage. The beauty of digital assets is scalability. If you're selling a physical product, you're limited by inventory, shipping, and storage. But a digital product, it costs you the same whether you sell it once or 1 million times. That's why some of the wealthiest entrepreneurs focus on digital creations. They scale effortlessly. But here's the part most people overlook. Building digital assets requires discipline. It's not easy to sit down after a long day and write those 10 chapters or film those 10 lessons. Most people give up because the reward isn't immediate. The 48, you don't get paid the first day you start typing or recording, but the ones who stick it out, the ones who push through the hard part. 8 are the ones who eventually wake up to sales notifications while they're still in bed. And the good news, anyone can start. You don't need a fancy degree or millions of dollars in capital. If you know how to solve a problem, entertain, or teach, you have the raw material to create a digital asset. Maybe you're good at budgeting. Make a budgeting template. Maybe you're a fitness enthusiast. Create a workout guide. Maybe you know how to fix computers. Record a troubleshooting course. Your knowledge, your creativity, hate, and your experiences can all be turned into assets that keep working for you long after the effort is over. This is why building digital assets is the foundation of true passive income. They give you the freedom to step away from trading hours for dollars. They allow you to focus on creating once and reaping the benefits for years. And most importantly, they build a safety net, a system of income that doesn't depend on your boss, the economy, or even your own ability to keep working. 8. If you want to change your financial life, start thinking like a builder, not just a worker. Ask yourself, what can I create today that will still be valuable tomorrow? 2. The 48. Because when you start creating digital assets, you're not just earning money, you're buying back your time, and that's the real definition of wealth. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they try to build passive income is thinking they have to start everything from scratch. They believe they need to build a website, find customers, create traffic, and somehow get the world to notice them. That's overwhelming. 8. And it's the reason so many people quit before they even begin. But here's the truth, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are platforms out there with millions, even billions of users already searching, scrolling and buying. 8. Your job is not to create the audience, it's to step in front of the audience that already exists. Think about it like this. If you were selling lemonade, 8. Would you build a stand in the middle of the desert where nobody walks by? Or would you place it on the busiest street corner in town where thirsty people are already passing? Too many people set up shop in the desert of obscurity. The smart ones find the street corner where the crowd already gathers. That's the power of leveraging platforms. Let's look at a few examples. If you're a writer, Amazon Kindle is a goldmine. Millions of readers log on every single day looking for books, guides, and stories. You don't have to beg people to visit your personal website. Amazon has already gathered the audience for you. Your job is simply to write, publish, and let their platform bring the readers. If you're someone who loves creating videos, YouTube is your stage. Billions of hours of video are consumed every day. The audience is already there, hungry for entertainment, knowledge, and solution. Instead of worrying about building your own streaming platform or paying for ads, you upload to YouTube and let the platform itself promote your content through search and recommendations. That's free exposure you could never buy on your own. And if you've got physical or digital products, platforms like Etsy, eBay, or Shopify make it easier than ever. Etsy already has customers searching for handmade goods. eBay has buyers ready to spend money on collectibles and everyday items. Shopify integrates with social media so you can tap into millions of users on Instagram and TikTok without even needing a massive following. The secret here is positioning. 48, you don't have to create the marketplace, you just have to show up where the marketplace already exists. That's how you get leverage. That's how you turn a small effort into a big return. Now, don't get me wrong, leveraging platforms doesn't mean zero effort. You still have to create a product, a book, a video, or a service worth people's time. But instead of spending years trying to build your own audience from scratch, you borrow the platform's audience. You ride the wave that's already moving. This is also why consistency is so powerful. On platforms, momentum builds. A single video, post, or product might not change your life overnight, but stacking consistent efforts creates a snowball effect. Suddenly, one sale turns into 10, 10 into 100, 4, 8. And before you know it, you've got a system working for you around the clock. Here's the beauty of all this. Platforms want you to succeed. Amazon wants you to sell more books. YouTube wants you to get more views. Etsy wants you to make more sales. Why? Because when you win, they win. The more value you create on their platform, the more money they make too. That alignment of interest is why these platforms are such powerful tools. So instead of struggling in silence, go where the people already are. Use the systems already built. Plug into the audiences that are already searching for what you offer. That's not cutting corners, it's working smarter. Because when you learn to leverage platforms, you stop fighting uphill battles and start riding momentum. And that momentum can carry you all the way to financial freedom. Every single person has something valuable inside them. Knowledge, skills, experiences that can be packaged and turned into income. The problem is, most people underestimate what they know. They think, who would pay for this? But here's the truth: what feels ordinary to you could be extraordinary to someone else. And in today's digital age, turning that knowledge into digital products is one of the smartest ways to build passive income. Think about it: digital products don't run out of stock. You don't have to worry about shipping, warehouses, or restocking inventory. Once it's created, it can be sold over and over again to thousands of people without any extra effort. That's leverage at its finest. Let's make it real. Imagine you know how to cook delicious meals on a budget. You could create an e-book with recipes and sell it online. Every time someone buys it, 48, money lands in your account, even while you sleep. Or maybe you've figured out how to manage personal finances and get out of debt. You could record a short video course explaining your method. Someone struggling with credit cards or student loans would gladly pay to learn what you already mastered. 48. This is the beauty of digital products. You don't need to be the world's top expert. You just need to be a few steps ahead of the person you're teaching. There are millions of people searching for solutions every single day. They're typing into Google, scrolling on YouTube, hunting through Amazon, desperate for answers. If you can solve even one of their problems, you have something valuable to sell. And here's where it gets powerful. Digital products scale infinitely. You create it once, the 48, and it works for you forever. You don't need to be physically present for each sale. Your ebook doesn't get tired. Your video course doesn't take a vacation. Your templates, checklists, and guides keep delivering value long after you've put in the initial effort. Now, a lot of people get stuck because they think creating a digital product has to be complicated. It doesn't. Start small. Write a 20-page guide. Record a 1-hour course. Create a set of templates that help people save time. You don't need fancy equipment or expensive software. What matters is clarity. Are you solving a specific problem for a specific audience? If the answer is yes, then you've got something worth selling. Platforms make this even easier. You can sell ebooks on Amazon Kindle, courses on Udemy or Teachable, or templates on Etsy. You don't have to build a massive following first. You can tap into the traffic these platforms already have. That's how everyday people with no background in business are building entire passive income streams from scratch. Here's the part that really excites me. Digital products keep growing in value over time. Once you get feedback from customers, you can improve, update, or expand what you offer. That means your income potential doesn't stay the same, it multiplies. What starts as a small guide can turn into a full online course, then into a membership program, and eventually into a 6-figure business. The truth is, digital products represent freedom. They allow you to separate your time from your money. No more working hour for dollar for day in and day out. Instead, you put in effort once, and that effort continues to pay you back, sometimes for years to come. So here's the challenge: stop doubting yourself. Don't brush off your skills or experiences as too simple or too obvious. There's someone out there right now wishing they knew what you already know. Package it, share it, sell it, and watch how something as simple as your knowledge can turn into a stream of passive income that changes your life. Because when you turn knowledge into digital products, you're not just creating income, you're creating impact. And that's a legacy worth building. One of the most underrated ways to build passive income is through investing, specifically in dividend stocks and REITs. Now, let me break this down in plain language. A dividend stock is simply a share of a company that pays you a portion of its profits on a regular basis, usually every quarter. A REIT, or real estate investment trust, is a company that owns or finances income generating real estate, and they're required by law to pay out most of their profits to shareholders like you. That means when you own dividend stocks or REITs, you're not just watching your money sit, you're putting it to work, and it pays you back consistently. Here's why this is powerful. Most people are trapped in the cycle of trading time for money. You clock in, you work, you get paid. But with dividends, your money is the one working. You could be on vacation at dinner with family or even asleep, and your investments are still generating income. Imagine that every 3 months you're receiving a payment just because you own part of a company or property portfolio. That's wealth on autopilot. Now, let's make it real. Say you invest in a company like Coca-Cola, Apple, or Johnson & Johnson, companies that have been paying dividends for decades. Every time they earn a profit, they share it with their investors. You're not just betting on a stock price going up, you're being rewarded consistently for holding it. Over time, those dividends add up. Reinvest them, and your money starts compounding, growing faster and faster without you lifting another finger. The same goes for rights. Maybe you can't afford to buy an apartment building or a shopping mall, but by investing in a right, you own a piece of that property and collect your share of the rent without being a landlord. No calls at midnight about broken pipes, no dealing with tenants. You simply enjoy the income while the right handles the management. That's leverage, and that's smart money at work. Of course, let's be real, it doesn't happen overnight. Nobody's getting rich from a 100 investment in dividends. But here's the lesson. It's not about where you start. It's about building momentum. Start small, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. That's how ordinary people become financially free. The earlier you start, the more powerful the compounding effect becomes. What looks like a trickle in the beginning can turn into a river of cash flow over the years. The real beauty of dividend stocks and REITs is the stability. These aren't fly-by-night opportunities. These are long-term wealth-building machines. While trends come and go, strong companies and well-managed real estate continue to produce value. That means your income is not only steady, but also growing as businesses expand and properties appreciate. But let me tell you something even deeper. Investing in dividends and REITs teaches discipline. It forces you to think long-term, to resist the temptation of quick wins, and to focus on building wealth that lasts. That mindset alone separates the successful from the struggling. Because passive income isn't about chasing shiny objects, it's about planting seeds today that grow into trees tomorrow. And think about the freedom this gives you. Imagine having enough dividend income to cover your rent, your groceries, or even your entire lifestyle. That's not just money, that's peace of mind. That's waking up knowing you're secure, that no matter what happens with your job or the economy, you've built a system that continues to take care of you. So here's the challenge. Don't ignore this path because it seems too slow. Slow doesn't mean weak. Slow means steady, reliable, and sustainable. Start learning. 48. Start investing and start building a portfolio that pays you whether you work or not. Because at the end of the day, financial freedom isn't about how much you make in one shot. It's about how much you can keep coming in consistently without having to chase it every single day. 8. Dividend stocks and REITs are the perfect tools to make that dream a reality.